Cut. Welcome to the Top Cut. Welcome to the Top Cut. Welcome to the Top Cut. Top Cut. Welcome to the Top Cut. Welcome to the Top Cut. Welcome to the Top Cut.
Today's episode is brought to you by Gem Accessories. Gem Accessories is one of the leading accessory manufacturers within the trading card game space. Known for their deck boxes, Gem also has an amazing lineup of binders, backpacks, and more. Some of our personal favorites include the new KLRZ Icons deck boxes, the Secrets binder, and the Jaguar and Puma backpacks. But don't just take it from us, check out some of these reviews on screen. For all these amazing products and more, be sure to check out Gem Accessories using the link in the description down below or on Twitter at XGemAccessories. Again, the description down below or on Twitter at XGemAccessories. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very special festive Christmas episode of the Top Cut Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. Thank you all so much for joining us. I have my wonderful co-host with me, Caleb.
Hello.
And of course, I am Sunny. So, we all want to wish you, very first off, a very Merry Christmas. So, we are wearing our nice festive holiday clothes. We are really excited.
And also, happy holidays to those who do not celebrate Christmas.
What he said. So, this is indeed the night before, right before the night before Christmas. We are coming to you, I guess this will be the 23rd when this episode comes out.
Give or take.
Yes. So, we are just forewarning everybody, we're taking the next episode off. Normally, we would record on Sundays.
But Sunday is
Christmas Day. So,
So then I would have to come in after recording and do an edit at like after midnight.
Yeah, okay, yeah. If we record
on
on
Monday evening, yes. Because you're probably not going to get home until after 10.
I'm off work Monday.
Oh.
Theoretically, we might make something work, but don't expect one. Don't expect an episode.
Don't expect it.
Just do not expect an episode. So, but I wanted to get that out of the way early.
Yeah.
So, but before we get too much farther, a huge thank you to all of our wonderful sponsors, especially who's the one for this episode? Gem Accessories. Thank you so much to Gem Accessories for sponsoring this particular episode of the podcast. You saw their advertisement earlier. Mm-hmm. And of course, be sure to check out the new Puma backpack if they're not already sold out. And if they are sold out, then check out something else on their website. And if you're wondering about those backpacks for the next time that they come on sale, because they always sell out because they're awesome backpacks.
They are.
On our YouTube channel, for those audio-only listeners, we did do a review of that. I have the Jaguar backpack.
Yeah. Now, from what I've seen with the backpacks, they're all like the same design. They're just different colors.
So far, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the original Gemtech backpack which is like a tan color, and
that's Puma, I believe.
No, Puma's the new one.
Oh.
The original one, I don't know if the original one has a name, but it's just like a tan canvas color.
And because I remember whenever I was doing the Gemtech ad, there was the Puma, that one, Jaguar, and there's the new one.
Puma is the new one.
Okay, there's another
one.
Okay, there's another one that had a cat name, and I can't think of it off the top of my head.
I don't think the other one had a name. There's 3 total.
I would have to go and look at the ad.
There's 3 total. There's the original. There's this one, which is Jaguar, and the one that I have, which is like green with brown straps. It's very dashing. And the Puma, which is red with, I think, black straps, which is the one that's coming in
whenever.
Last week.
Yeah.
But it's extremely cool, and you should definitely try to get one if you don't have one. I highly recommend it.
If they're not sold out.
And if they are, buy something else on their website. Download their app. That way you get updates whenever things go for sale.
Mm-hmm.
So they do have the Gem Accessories app you can download. Thank you to all of our other wonderful sponsors, ETB Games, Millennium Threads. There's a discount code for them down below, as well as Gem Accessories. And of course, Dragon Shield and TCG Player. Thank you all. If you are interested in getting things from Dragon Shield or TCG Player, be sure to check out our affiliate link, which is in the description down below for both of those websites. Now, we want to thank all of our wonderful patrons who help make this podcast happen. So, a huge thank you to Cam Yang, Dragon Maid Stunzeed, Kane Martin, Zyphris, Yeet the Feet, Blackwing Silverwind the Ascendant is the best Floodgate, Earth Machine best deck, Epi, get goated on these nuts ya dingus. They're talking to you, Caleb.
Sure they are.
Has anyone actually read Toy Vendor, HGH Cyber? I'm not a man. I'm not a god. I am Little Italy. I don't know why I get so much satisfaction out of
It's the
doing that.
Little Italy.
Yeah. I like SpongeBob, and that's a great episode of SpongeBob that I enjoy.
Yes, it is.
I am McLincoln, Mountain Man, Oatmeal Spaghetti, Owen Alvarado, Pig, quitting the game as a floodgate, Sprite Farter, Unbanned number 95, Konami. Understanding and reading are two different things. Virtually Savior's World. Why read many word when few do trick? Wait, when few word do trick. True.
That is from something.
It is from something, but I couldn't sit here and tell you what it's from. Why read many word when few do trick?
Oh, this is gonna bug me.
Hold on, wait. I'm Googling. Don't worry.
Yeah, no. I'll Google. You keep reading.
It is from The Office originally.
I remember now.
Is it originally from The Office?
Yes, I remember now. I can't think of the dude's name. It's the big dude with like the bald spot.
I waste time, say lot word when few word do trick.
Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin. It was. Oh, that was. Kevin. Oh, that was.
Okay, I haven't watched all of The Office. I just got to the Google quicker than you did.
That's
so
fair.
yeah, but I've heard that a lot. Rogue and Tier 2 are the polite terms for bad deck. AD, Aaron Gardner, Asami, Ashlish Chap, Cyberdank, Buffer Dragon. Don't listen to the guy who hates rogue decks. He's just salty he got clapped by Rika. Duty Booty, Dragon Maidenless Behavior, Fur Hire, Dog Turd, Herios, Pebble Cereal, Jerry Beans, Man. Cam, the disciple of Caleb's waifu philosophy, King Henry, Old Man Red. Pin code 143, Ray Powell, Santa Claus. I like that. And Sky Striker Maneuver Scoop. Thank you all so much for your continued and festive support of the podcast. Speaking of, listen, if you're audio only, you're missing out on our wonderful Christmas outfits, including my blinking sweater. But I'm going to have to turn the blinking sweater off because every time I look down, it distracts me because I'm like a small child. I see flashing lights. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, and my T-shirt with Grogu from Star Wars on it in a Santa outfit.
Whoa. Chill. Don't tell them everything.
Oh, no. There's text on the shirt.
Okay, so they have to click the YouTube video to find the text.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Just making sure that we know.
For those of you who can't read it, I'm gonna put it in the description.
Well, if you do that, just put it in the YouTube description.
Yeah. I was putting the YouTube description only.
Okay. Make them click the YouTube video. That's right. We want you to click the YouTube video because we are desperate for people to subscribe to our YouTube page. So what you can get us for Christmas, besides stuff on our Amazon list, is is to go subscribe to our YouTube.
I like how you just real quickly, nonchalantly drop that in there.
Well, it's just a thing we have. I'm just saying, it's there. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and get on into today's main topics. Oh my gosh, I just realized how long that intro was. People that hate the long intros, I'm sorry. I'm not that sorry because it's our podcast and we can do whatever we want. But I'm kind of sorry.
Okay, you want to start with new cards or new product?
Let's first talk about Duelist Nexus.
Okay, new product.
Sort of. So Duelist Nexus is the next core set after Cyberstorm Access. So it'll be the first major product release of 2023 for the OCG, but it'll be the third of 2023, the third core set for us. So we'll get it in late summertime. So Duelist Nexus is in the OCG first core booster pack of 2023. It goes on sale April 22nd of 2023 in the OCG.
Yeah, Japan, Korea, and Hong Kong, I think.
And Singapore.
And Singapore as well, I believe.
Yes, and maybe Malaysia. Something like that. It contains support for old themes as well as brand new themes. The first print of this set will contain the +1 bonus pack as usual. So I guess if you get a first edition booster box, it gets a +1 bonus pack.
Yeah.
And then quarter century secret rares will replace the usual prismatic secret rares, which is the OCG equivalent of Starlight rares, to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Official card game. So
now, first, this is just really cool that they're getting all this. But as a really good, because I think it's a really good transition here.
It's not, because I have something else I want to say.
Oh, go ahead and say it then.
This will be the first booster pack of the new era of Yu-Gi-Oh! Mm-hmm. So people look at certain sets as the new eras of Yu-Gi-Oh. For example, you have the Lost Millennium was the start of the GX era. What was the start of 5Ds?
I don't remember. Stardust Assault?
No, it was before that. Because the first thing that I think of is Duelist Revolution.
Maybe.
But D-Rev was late because D-Rev is after Edison format.
Yeah.
So it was after Shining Darkness, after Light of Destruction.
Yeah, it
gosh.
it was the set with
Stardust Dragon.
yeah.
Duelist Genesis.
Genesis.
I almost had to do it. So you had Lost Millennium, Duelist Genesis, the one that released Leviathan Dragon and Leviair the Sea Dragon, Generation Force,
Yeah.
Duelist Alliance, and I can't tell you the ones for Pendulum and Link. I can't. I don't know them.
Yeah, because that was
not for Link. Pendulum was Duelist Alliance.
yeah, I have no idea. It's probably like Cyberstorm Madness, maybe something to do with Vrains.
Yeah, I couldn't
don't
tell you, but what I do know is
This will be the next.
right.
thing.
This is the next one, and there's no mention of a new mechanic to go with it.
Yeah, there's no mention of Master Rule 6, so I don't think we're getting it.
Right. I think that we could get the announcement of some kind of a new core ruling change at some point, but I don't think it'll take effect anytime soon.
I don't think we're getting one at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Could be anything at this point.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
anyway, so transitioning.
Okay, so the new transition. So they talk about these quarter-century secret rares.
Right.
Are we getting those?
Yes, we are actually. So
Transition.
they also announced the Legendary Collection 25th Anniversary Edition, and this is a TCG product.
TCG only product. For those of you who remember the original Legendary Collection, it was like the binder with Obelisk, Cypher, and Raw in the
Yes.
front. It's that as a box.
Yes, it literally even the same background on the box
Yeah, with
as
like
was on the binder.
Yeah, with like the holographic silver foil with all the Egyptian tablet stuff behind it. It's
Yeah.
beautiful looking.
And I like the tagline of YG Organization. Did they really just "this is how you do an anniversary pack" to Wizards of the Coast?
Yeah, talking about the Magic the Gathering anniversary pack being awful.
Yeah, it was really bad.
$1,000 for proxies.
Yeah. For randomized proxies. So, I'll just go ahead and read off the set description.
Yeah.
One of the most storied Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game items returns for the 25th anniversary of the card game. The very first Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game Legendary Collection is reborn as Legendary Collection 25th Anniversary Edition. It contains 6 booster packs and 6 ultra rare cards, including special variant cards of some of the most famous monsters from the original anime series. In addition to these 6 ultra rare cards, which include the highly requested and sought after original Egyptian God card promos, the 25th Anniversary Edition will include a bonus 7th card. This 7th card will offer duelists a sneak peek at a brand new rarity created just for the 25th anniversary celebrations, the Quarter Century Secret Rare. Each Legendary Collection 25th Anniversary Edition will include one random Quarter Century Secret Rare version of one of the 6 special variant cards to give duelists a taste of what's to come. Legendary Collection 25th Anniversary Edition contains 1 pack of Legend of the Blue Eyes White Dragon, 1 pack of Metal Raiders, 1 pack of Spell Ruler, 1 pack of Pharaoh Servant, 1 pack of Dark Crisis, 1 pack of Invasion of Chaos, 1 ultra rare Obelisk the Tormentor, Slifer the Sky Dragon, the Winged Dragon of Ra, Blue Eyes White Dragon, Dark Magician, and Red Eyes Black Dragon, and 1 Quarter Century Secret Rare version of one of the 6 aforementioned cards, which will be randomized.
Yep.
So
basically, one of the 6 cards, you'll be getting 2 copies of it.
yes. And it releases on the 4th of April, 2023. So, in addition, the following 5 booster packs from the beginning of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game's history are seeing a re-release to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the game on July 13th of 2023. So, on July 13th of 2023, they will re-release Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon, which was the very first booster pack ever released for Yu-Gi-Oh!
In the TCG.
Yes. And the description here says, for years, you could only get your hands on these coveted packs as part of the Legendary Collection, but now, just in time to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the card game, they're being made available as standalone booster packs. Legend of the Blue Eyes White Dragon was notable not only for being the first booster set, but also introducing famous cards like Exodia the Forbidden One, as well as incredible spell cards like Pot of Greed and Raigeki. This printing will feature both secret rares from the set. The complete Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon booster set is 126 cards, which is 82 commons, 22 rares, 10 supers, 10 ultras, and 2 secrets. Metal Raiders was the second Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game booster set ever released. For years, you could only get your hands on these coveted packs as part of the Legendary Collection, but now just in time to celebrate, yada yada, they're being made standalones. This set is famous for introducing many powerful trap cards, including Yugi's Mirror Force, and the first wave of counter trap cards, Horn of Heaven, Magic Jammer, Seven Tools of the Bandit, and, of course, Solemn Judgment. Of course, Metal Raiders didn't leave duelists defenseless against these powerful cards. Heavy Storm also made its debut in this set. This printing will also feature both secret rares. This was 144 cards, which was 100 commons, 22 rares, 10 supers, 10 ultras, and 2 secrets. Spell Ruler was the third booster set ever released. Spell Ruler was the first appearance of ritual spell cards, ritual monsters, and quick play spell cards like Mystical Space Typhoon. This was the first appearance of Pegasus's Toon World and Toon monsters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Animated series, including the beloved Blue Eyes Toon Dragon. Joining them were powerful spell cards like Delinquent Duo, Snatch Steal, and Painful Choice. So, the complete Spell Ruler booster is 104 cards, 65 commons, 17 rares, 10 supers, 10 ultras, and 2 secrets. I'm just going to say, many people don't realize this, but Spell Ruler, or formerly known as Magic Ruler, has more banned cards than any other set in the entire history of the game.
Oh, yeah.
There are so many broken and powerful all-time cards released, and specifically Spell Ruler. It is mind-boggling to think about. All right. Pharaoh Servant was the fourth booster set released. Pharaoh Servant was the debut for Pegasus's ultimate monster, Thousand Eyes Restrict, and it also introduced era-defining cards like Jinzo and Imperial Order to the game as well. Pharaoh Servant made it easier than ever to revive your opponent's monster, or to revive your monsters with Premature Burial and Call of the Haunted, or burn away your opponent's life points with Ceasefire. This printing will feature the secret rares. A complete Pharaoh Servant booster set is 105 cards, 66 commons, 17 rares, 10 supers, 10 ultras, and 2 secrets. And in terms of set release order, Labyrinth of Nightmare, Legacy of Darkness, Pharaonic Guardian, Magician's Force, and Dark Crisis have all been skipped, much like the former four were previously for the release of Legendary Collection, but the final core set being re-released is Invasion of Chaos. It's one of the most iconic booster sets of all time. Invasion of Chaos unleashed a variety of powerful cards that rewarded duelists who packed their decks with light and dark attribute monsters. The legendary Blackluster Soldier and Void the Beginning and Chaos Emperor Dragon and Void the End dominated duels, and spell retrieving Dark Magician of Chaos joined them thanks to the incredibly powerful Dimension Fusion spell card. The complete Invasion of Booster set is 112 cards, which is 73 commons, 17 rares, 10 supers, 10 ultras, and 2 secrets. So, Invasion of Chaos is obviously one of the most iconic sets ever released in the game's history. I think it is up there with those other sets that I've mentioned, things like, for example,
Legend of Blue Eyes, Metal Raiders.
And it's also up there with some of the other iconic sets from the game's history, things like Duelist Alliance, things like Photon Shockwave, Shining Darkness, Duelist Revolution. I think that there's a lot of sets that qualify as game-defining things that really changed everything. Cybernetic Revolution is another one with the release of Cyber Dragon. And when you look at these things that defined entire eras of Yu-Gi-Oh!, I think that IOC is one of the big era-defining sets. So I'm fine with them re-releasing IOC as well as the other ones. The one thing that kind of frustrates me a little bit is that they are doing LOB, MRD, SRL, and PSV.
Yeah, the first 4 sets in Yu-Gi-Oh's history, and then skipping 4 to go straight to IOC, which they did specify. It was because that's what they did the original one.
Sure.
Which I get, but then I don't remember why they did it originally.
Probably because they viewed IOC as a more important set to the game's history
Then sets 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Right.
Fair.
Here's my issue. Labyrinth of Nightmare, Legacy of Darkness, Pharaonic Guardian and Magician's Force, and I guess Dark Crisis.
To a lesser extent.
Those have so many of the most important cards that are played in modern GOAT format and even Edison format to an extent. I mean, Trap Does Shoot, Metamorphosis, these powerful, powerful cards.
Reprints of those would have been nice.
Right.
Is all we're saying.
And listen, I absolutely, I adore the old stuff. I do. I'm a huge proponent of retro formats and old school Yu-Gi-Oh! I love that stuff. I just think that if
Some of these cards need a reprint. Like,
I think that accessibility is an issue for those older formats. And even with the accessibility issues that those older formats experience, they are in a lot of ways still more accessible than current modern TCG. But at the same time, I think that those cards need to be even more accessible.
Mhm.
I think that these cards should be dirt cheap, which is not necessarily the popular opinion, but I think that the old original versions of these cards are gonna hold their value.
oh yeah.
No matter what.
Oh yeah, no. It's one of those things where where most of the people who are complaining that they don't want this are the ones who have the old cards and are afraid of them losing all that value overnight.
Right. I think that in terms of accessibility, the value of things, and I'll keep saying it until it happens, but Trap Does Shoot is such a huge card in both GOAT format as well as Edison format and others. And
You have
Trap
no
Does Shoot,
idea.
on top of only having one holo printing that's like a $400 champion pack card,
Yep.
on top of that, it's just, I think it's only got 3 or 4 printings total, and they were all from like 2011 or before, because that's about when the card got banned. So
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's just a card that it may not have seen play traditionally for a long time until basically right before it got banned, but it's one of those cards, it just needs attention.
Mhm.
It just needs to be reprinted because it is now a modern staple in Time Wizard formats.
Well, specifically, get Edison and Goat format specifically.
Well, yeah. Those are the main Time Wizard formats that are played
Yeah,
in paper Yu-Gi-Oh.
yeah, because I mean there are a couple other ones, but those are all after it got banned, so you can't even, use it.
Yeah, so 2014 Nationals format is another big Edison format, or Time Wizard format, that a lot of people love and enjoy. And while I understand that it's not playable there, that's maybe the 3rd to 5th highest played.
Yeah.
I think that in terms of most played retro formats these days, it's
Goat and Edison.
I would say Edison first, GOAT second, probably
Plant Synchro, maybe?
Plant Synchro third, just because of how much Pack pushed it.
Yeah.
And then you look at 2014 Nationals as probably 4th, hat format. And then after hat format, I've heard of people playing Duelist Alliance format.
Which would be cool. It's interesting.
Right. I've heard of people playing Dragon Ruler format.
I always find LOB duels interesting.
Yeah, Yugi Kaiba format or LOB format are also interesting formats, because there's actually Yugi Kaiba format actually has a bunch of different playable decks.
Oh yeah. Surprisingly, they're all mash decks because there is no, archetype or anything like that. But
Right. Yeah, no, there's no archetypes, but there's definitely synergistic strategies
yeah,
that you can do.
Oh yeah, even with just Legend of Blue Eye, Stardeck, Yugi, Stardeck, Kaiba, and that's it.
Yes. I think I was looking at, I think it's Chaotic Meatball. He had like those cheap little Ultra Pro deck boxes, right?
Mhm.
And he literally had built like 20 plus different Edison format decks, 20 plus different GOAT decks. 3 or 4 decks for, I want to say, Dragon Ruler. 4 decks, or it was 8. It was 4 Spellbook decks and 4 Dragon Ruler decks.
So he could have a 8 player.
Right,
Yeah.
Dragon Ruler pod. And one of the things he built like 10 decks of was Yugi Kaiba format, and they were all completely different decks, which was crazy to me. I didn't realize that it had that many different strategies.
Yeah, there are staples that all those decks are probably going to have like 3 copies of La Jin just because he's the highest attack point beater.
Potentially.
Stuff like
I'm
that.
not going to pretend to know all of the different
the
strategies card for card.
Yeah, but like I said, you can kind of guess at a good chunk of them.
Right.
Last Will, Ultimate Offering, yeesh.
So
Listen, nothing is funnier than Ultimate Offering tribute summoning Blue Eyes during your opponent's battle phase.
yeah.
Nothing's funnier. Is more fun or funnier than that?
Okay. So for hat format, which is 2014 Nationals, he built a dozen decks.
Mm-hmm.
For Baby Ruler format, which is just like Dragon Ruler, like Spellbook and Dragon Rulers, 8 decks. 16 decks for Edison, 16 decks for Goat, and a dozen different decks for Yugi Kaiba format, which is, I say a dozen different. It's not a dozen different ones. It's 2 Soul Control, 2 Umi Beatdown, 2 Stall. Yeah, Umi Beatdown.
That sounds cool. That sounds fun.
Yeah. 2 Stall/Mill decks, 2 Dragon Turbo decks, 2 Vanilla Beatdown decks, and 2 Last Will Turbo decks.
I bet those Vanilla Beatdowns are full of stuff like Lajin, Battle
Yeah, for sure. Skull
Red
Red
Bird.
Yeah, for sure.
Just like a bunch of the highest attack point vanilla beaters you can get with some of the vanilla defenders.
Yeah. And my favorite part was that he's been doing this over the last few weeks to a couple months, been buying and building dozens of decks for retro formats so that his LGS can hold Time Wizard events in all of these different formats.
And then no one has to worry about, I can't because I don't have X card because it's $30 for the common.
He has built dozens and dozens of decks, 5 dozen decks.
Yeah, so it's like, no, don't worry about it. Just come on in, pay your $5. Boom, here you go. Here's the deck.
Yeah, it's really a huge community thing that he's doing there, and it's a huge props to Chaotic Meatball for doing that. That's such an amazing thing.
Oh, definitely. That's just cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so moving right along, we have 2 new cards to talk about.
Yep. First, we have Libromancer Origin. When you have already finished a story, but the editor calls for more.
Yep.
All right, so this is a continuous spell card. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. You can only use the 3rd effect of this card's name once per turn. 1, when this card resolves, you can set 1 Libromancer spell or trap directly from your deck, except Libromancer Origin. 2, the Libromancer ritual monsters you control gain attack equal to their own level times 100. And 3, if a ritual monster or monsters is ritual summoned to your field, you can target 1 spell or trap your opponent controls and destroy it. This is pretty solid. If nothing else, just because it's a search essentially for any of your Libromancer spell or traps, which the deck kind of needed.
Yeah. So now they can basically just run 3 extra copies of
10 key for their spells and traps.
Yeah, it's literally just 10 key for the spells and traps. Yeah, so they can just run. Basically, it's cool. I can have whatever spell trap I need. It's a good card.
Right, and then if you search like your ritual spell or something, you can just immediately activate it.
Yeah, just boom, go off.
Yeah.
Not only that, then if you ritual summon, you can pop on your opponent's spell traps.
Yes.
On top of that, which is nice. So next card, I will get this one for reasons. It's a new Infinitrack card, so your Earth Machine players get a new card.
For reasons.
It is Infinitract. Earth Machine effect, level 5, 2100 attack and defense. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. Huh, this is a Gizmek.
It is.
That's funny. Not literally a Gizmek. 1. If an Earth Machine monster or monsters is tributed or banished face up, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. If it was there, the monster was tributed or banished.
Probably when the monster was tributed or banished.
If it's there when the monster was tributed or banished, or hand, even if it's not. But banish it when it leaves the field. 2. An Exceeds monster whose original type is machine and has this card as material gains this effect. All face-up monsters your opponent controls are changed to defense, and they lose 1,000 defense. It's a level 5 extender?
I don't
know. But I don't know. I don't remember if they do a lot of tributing or banishing their own stuff face-up.
I just don't know if it's good or not.
Neither do I.
Okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about here, and by the way, I think this is an okay card. It'll be an interesting extender, but the deck doesn't really need extenders. It more needs a turn 1 end board, which it does not currently have. So, okay. Now, I want to talk for a few minutes about something that was recently featured by the Konami YouTube account. And this is one of the most interesting things I've seen in a long time. So we had a new video get posted on the Konami YouTube account. It was titled Yu-Gi-Oh! Roundtable presented by Konami, Episode 1, which is the most interesting part. So the Konami TCG YouTube account, essentially, their media people, whoever it is, they recorded at YCS Pasadena. I guess they got everybody either in a back room somewhere or they got a hotel room or something.
Yeah.
And they got this roundtable together of 4 pretty awesome people, right? So, you good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was mark
Okay.
notes. Because I will forget.
Yeah. So this roundtable featured Doug Zeef, who obviously is DZ from Yu-Gi-Oh! The YouTube. Billy Break, Asala, who he says it himself in the video. His last name is incredibly difficult to pronounce, but Asala, who is one of the most accomplished duelists of the last 5 or 6 years, and Jason Grabermeyer, who is one of early Yu-Gi-Oh's most accomplished duelists. So for those that don't know Jason Grabermeyer or Billy Break, because maybe you're newer to the game or whatever, Jason Grabermeyer was one of the most accomplished duelists. Well, he was probably the first duelist to ever be considered an accomplished duelist, if that makes sense.
He is whom all others are compared to.
Right.
When trying to decide if a duelist is accomplished or not.
Right.
Probably not literally, but figuratively.
So, like, if you think about Jason Grabermeyer in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh!, in like in the span of Yu-Gi-Oh's history, he played competitively from early in the game's history, maybe the 2nd or 3rd set.
Yeah.
Up until probably around the 5Ds era, maybe a little later.
Yeah.
And eventually he joined Konami as part of the Konami R&D team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Billy Break played from that early era, but he got really competitive and seriously became a well-known duelist around 2009, 2010, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
And then Billy Break became extremely well-known. He got 2nd place at YCS Edison, I think. In 2010, 2011, he wins back-to-back YCSs at Columbus, Ohio, and Toronto. Or was it Columbus, Toronto, or Toronto, Philly? Something like that.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to win back-to-back YCSs again in 2017-ish.
Yeah, left on hiatus, came back, right back in the saddle.
Right. And then not long after that, 2017... back-to-back win and Worlds trip, Billy Break took another basically indefinite hiatus from playing competitively anyway to go also work for the Konami R&D department, which is a wonderful opportunity for him, and I'm very happy for him. Now, so you might not know those names, Jason Grabermeyer and Billy Break, off the top of your head, but they are 2 of the most accomplished duelists in the game's history. Asala himself is obviously an extremely highly accomplished duelist. He has been to Worlds. He is one of the most well-known names from the last 5 years, and DZeef is one of the most well-known content creators in the Yu-Gi-Oh space, and he is, in his own right, a very good duelist with YCS tops and things of that sort. So this was an interesting roundtable discussion, and my favorite part is that they titled it Episode 1. This is, I kid you not, an hour-long Yu-Gi-Oh podcast put out by the Konami media team, which I personally love the thought of.
They might as well, as at the very end of the video, just put the end, ... question mark, with that episode 1 thing. So we're getting more. There wasn't a lot, in my opinion, there wasn't a lot of, like, pertinent information. There's a lot of really cool discussion on how the individuals in the roundtable actually got into the game, their history with it, blah, blah, blah. Really fascinating to listen to how these people got into the game originally, from little kids watching the TV show, from just being at the right place at the right time with the right frame of the right headspace to go, this is my opportunity to just take advantage of this game and really make something.
So what was really interesting to me was hearing Jason Grebermeyer talk about he was actually more into playing Pokemon competitively. And then somebody told him that, hey, you should go on what was called the Mall Tour at the time, which I had never heard of.
Neither had I.
But I guess it was a series of tournaments that they held at malls all across the country.
Possibly like a proto YCS, maybe?
Yeah, potentially. So essentially, he went in and he had like a couple of days before the Mall Tour started to go in and find all of these cards that he needed to build his deck to go on this tour.
No. He did it in 3 weeks. Learned the game, built a deck, and started succeeding in 3 weeks.
Yeah. Which at the time
was possible.
Right. It's not really that easy anymore.
No.
But
I mean, because like at the time, the most complicated thing, I think the most complicated card at the time was probably Last Will.
Yeah, something like that. Or Last Turn.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that was more... I don't really know if that was a major card that was a thing at that time. But regardless, I love the idea of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Like the Konami media team putting out this podcast. Even if it's not real substantial in what they give us, I don't see us getting this as a regular thing. I would love to see this be a weekly thing or even monthly, right? I would very much look forward to this
every month. Yeah,
just
once a month.
Right. Give it to us on what is this, like the third Wednesday of the month every month? That's great. Give it to me.
Or even like at every YCS event they have one of these. That also I think would be a good, if they're like, we can't do this every month, we just don't have the time, blah blah blah. How about every YCS as kind of a...
Sometimes there's 2 or 3 YCSs in a month, though, which is...
But to be fair, if they it's Konami, they have the money to have have an editing team on standby for those situations.
Yes, but it did take them like 6 weeks to put this one out.
That's fair.
Because this was recorded at YCS Pasadena in November.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, this took like 4 to 6 weeks to edit, produce, and put out, which to me is an insane timeline because we give ourselves less than 48 hours every time we do this.
Yeah.
We do it in like 36 hours turnaround.
To be fair, we are not professional grade by any stretch of the imagination, obviously.
Which is that true.
Which I think is also a big part of it. Also, we've also streamlined a lot of our process to kind of help with that.
Also true. We're very used to putting together a podcast at this point. I mean, oh gosh, we've got to be running up on close to 200 episodes.
Yeah, something like that. But then, there's probably like also a lot more on the back end that they're doing with these episodes on top of, the normal stuff that we do as well, that they've also done. Because like once you actually get
there's stuff that we don't do that they did.
Yeah, exactly.
They had at least 3 different camera shots that they were rotating between. They had like an intro deal with a little transition, I think. Which we have that.
Kind of, but nowhere near as fancy as that one was.
Right. And I'm sure all the audio leveling, they probably had all 4 of the audio tracks. They had to cut stuff out, things like that.
I mean, because it looked like that was a more like that. But based on what I saw of that setup, they were probably saved as 4 different audio files.
No, it was probably one audio file with 4 audio tracks on it.
Very possibly. There's no telling. They could have done easily. Oh, we have 4 $1,000. Yeah, we have like 4 $1,000 computers set up for this.
No, they didn't. It was definitely one computer recording 4 different audio tracks.
Yeah, and then maybe a second computer doing the.
They don't have a second computer for anything. There's no need.
Well, I'd have to know specifically what cameras they were using.
I guess that's true, but
knowing Konami and how much money that they easily could have put into this, they were probably just using some, I don't know.
It was probably one fairly decent computer.
Yeah, for audio.
Running all the audio and all the video.
And then 3 powerful... They probably actually just used some of the cameras they used back at the YCS.
Probably.
So then it's like, we already have them, just move them here. Boom.
Yeah, the other thing that I think is what they probably spent more time doing was setting up lighting and stuff.
Yes, way more time.
Their lighting was actually like a real studio lighting setup. We have one big ring light that we use.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so there's also a lot of lighting. So they also had to probably spend a lot of time, even just before setting up the lighting, checking. Yeah,
they probably spent 4 hours just doing setup.
Yeah,
getting audio levels
even
correct.
That lighting had like the special little light meter.
I mean, potentially.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of things that they did that we don't, just due to us not being professional grade, and they are.
Also,
but I do want more of this.
Yeah, for sure. I love this, and I don't think they necessarily went as in depth as they could have, and I imagine that in the future maybe they get a little bit of a different cast.
Maybe, but they'll probably have like they'll probably like get like Billy Brake as just kind of a reoccurring person because he's probably going to be at every event.
Well, my thing with Billy Brake specifically seemed to be more of a lead and a host and moderating it.
Yeah, so I think he'll probably be in the next one.
Right.
And they'll probably grab like 3 other people. Maybe.
I think Jason Grabermeyer could be in the next one too, because he also works with Billy at Konami R&D.
That's also entirely fair. That it might just be like them 2 working together on this thing, and then they just get 2 big names in Yu-Gi-Oh from the YCS that just happened.
Yeah, for sure. I think that we could see somebody like Jesse Cotton up there with Sam from Team Sam X1. I think they would be a really great duo. Because they know each other very well personally.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be interesting to see as well. It was particularly if they're already like.
You're definitely going to see Gage Poljak or Tom Box at some point.
Oh, definitely. I think it's only a matter of time. We'll have to wait and see how they do this for the next episode that they do with this.
Yes.
To see how they're to kind of start extrapolating more information.
Yes, for sure. Now, my biggest takeaway, though, is this is really a breath of fresh air.
Oh, yes.
This is such a delightful, just really wonderful thing that we're not used to seeing from Konami's media team or whoever. This is such a delight for me personally, especially seeing how much effort they put into a podcast. They didn't call it a podcast, but let's be honest here. It's 52 minutes long. It's just discussion. It's a podcast.
Yeah, you'd be perfectly fine without the video, just listening to it.
Absolutely.
It's a podcast.
And this, once again, further proves my theory that Konami listens to this podcast. Somebody at Konami is listening to this podcast
and getting ideas.
They're going, man, I like that. We need to do one of those. That's right. We know you're here. I know we don't know who you are, but I love you and I appreciate you. Let me know if you want to do one of these. We're down. We're totally down.
No fooling.
You should see the audio waveforms for when I did that. I sat forward in chair, got loud.
Yeah. But like what I like about this the most is that this is content. What I'm used to from Konami is just advertisements. And that's it. There was no, there's no real content. Not like over in the not TCG, in the OCG, where when they release new cards, they talk about them. When
Could you
they
imagine?
ban something, they talk about it.
Could you imagine? And bear with me for a moment here. This would be the coolest thing that we, as a player base, have ever received from Konami. Could you imagine them doing something like this with the entire episode being banlist discussion from a couple of R&D team people and a couple of high-level players?
Oh my god!
Discussing the latest ban list. Oh my!
Oh no! Oh no! Here's what I think would be amazing. They get there. So they have the people from R&D. They get the two players, big name players, and they go. So here's the next ban list. We're going to give you 24 hours. Don't talk about it with anyone to think about it. Mull it over in your heads. And then tomorrow on our episode, we're going to talk about it.
That would be the most insane.
That's how they announce the ban list.
Yeah, I'm personally that's like a dream come true for me. I don't see it happening ever, but oh my goodness, that would be such an amazing thing. And who knows, right? The podcast plus we got the article a couple of weeks ago or last week discussing our ban list.
It really feels like Konami's opening up a little bit, being which
is amazing.
Yeah, lowering the opacity.
Right, and it's just phenomenal.
I hope they continue on this path.
For sure. And whoever at Konami is making these decisions to do these things, please keep doing them. We, as a player base, love this stuff. It's wonderful. Do not stop. Whoever is in charge of this stuff that is convincing people to do these things and make these decisions, don't stop. Please keep doing podcasts. Keep writing articles about the ban list. This level of communication is unprecedented, and I'm excited to see where this takes us.
Like I had said before, this is content, not advertisement. It is advertisement, but it's content that is also advertisement. It's just ads.
Okay, well, I think it is time we do some mailbag questions. What do you think?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
All right, we're gonna kind of blow through some of these. So, do you have any Christmas traditions that you enjoy and look forward to each year?
Ham.
Fair. Is there any special thing about the ham?
It is ham.
Okay, so I don't really eat pork. But kind of when I was growing up, I did. But when I was growing up, my mom used to have this special way that she made the ham every year. Did your parents have a special way they made the ham?
Oh, we didn't really do Christmas ham when I was a kid growing up.
Really?
No.
So it's just like your in-laws and stuff now?
Yeah, it's my fiance's mother, and it's what they do every year.
Oh, okay, and you've just kind of adopted it.
Yeah. Growing up, though, what we would do would be dressing, mashed potatoes,
sure, like
green beans,
Thanksgiving meal on Christmas.
Yeah, but no turkey.
Oh, okay,
or ham.
We would actually usually have a turkey and a ham at both Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah. Usually, we would just do chicken and dumplings.
Okay, well, your grandmother makes excellent chicken and dumplings.
Oh, yeah.
My mom's ham that she would make, people are going to think I'm a nut job.
Mm-hmm.
She would take a whole ham. She would take toothpicks.
Mm-hmm.
And she would take, you buy a can of pineapple slices.
Yeah, and then she would stick them on the peach rings. She'd stick toothpicks in, put them on.
Yeah, she would take the pineapple rings and toothpick them on all over the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then
pour the juice on it.
A whole 2 liter of Coke.
Oh no, I remember. Yeah, your mom made your mom.
You remember?
Yeah.
It's okay. So mom, you did have it one time.
No, because your mom taught my mom how to do it.
And then she did that. I forgot about that. Oh, now
and then she started doing it too. So now what my mother does.
Oh my goodness.
So now what my mother does, is Mexican.
Remember that?
Yeah, it's Mexican food. Now is what they do. Hot tamales, some Mexican chicken spaghetti.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. Stuff like that. It's really good. Oh, the hot tamales. They're the good ones.
So my Christmas tradition that we always did in my family that I really enjoyed, on Christmas Eve, we always got to pick one present that we could open on Christmas Eve. And then Christmas morning, we would open the rest. But we could go to the tree, find one present,
Yeah.
and we would always get to pick. Now, my parents, a couple of years, what they did was they took something like a new pair of pajama pants, and they would let us pick our present. And we had a habit of going for like the big box in the back.
Yeah.
So they took like a box that like a golf club bag would go in, and they put like a single pair of pajama pants in there. So
trick you.
then the next year, I had been talking about, I'm going for the little one next year, right?
So they switched them.
So they switched them. I got a rock band set that year in the big box, and I got pajama pants in the little box. Ooh, I was fired up.
Okay, so here's how my family did Christmas gifts. On Christmas Eve, you'd open all the gifts from
One side.
family,
Uh-huh.
and then Christmas morning you'd do Santa's gifts.
Okay. Yeah, we would do like Christmas Eve at my mom's parents, and then we do Christmas Day at our house. But when we got home from my mom's parents, we would pick one present.
Yeah.
So that's yeah.
But that was because we would do because I used to live like maybe a 5-minute walk if you're moseying and not walking from my grandparents. So
It wasn't a 5-minute walk. It was one football throw.
Yeah, it was a 5-minute walk if you were moseying on in that direction.
It was one good football throw.
Oh yeah, one solid whoop. You literally couldn't make that throw though because all the trees.
Well, yeah, but it was the distance.
Yeah.
wise. That was the
No.
idea.
So we would just go over there, do presents, eat dinner, do presents, come back, because in the next morning all the adults were tired and just wanted to sleep.
Yeah, of course. So we actually have carried that tradition of the one present. We've carried that over to my son. So
How nice.
yeah, right. So now Christmas Eve night, we'll all each get one present. But the catch is we pick his present.
Ooh.
And so he always just happens to open a nice new set of Christmas PJs.
Yeah. Just so happens that are great for right now.
For Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Christmas movie, and do you watch it every year?
Not gonna lie, not that big of a fan of Christmas movies, but I am very fond of Scrooged, starring I was just about to say his name, and the name has gone right as I was about to say it.
Scrooge?
Scrooged. Bill Murray,
Scrooged?
starring Bill Murray.
Okay, I personally love the Santa Claus.
And it's a decent one. So, Scrooge starring Bill Murray is basically a Christmas Carol, but Bill Murray being a TV corporate exec.
Oh, nice.
So, like, I'm not gonna spoil any of them, but they redesigned the spirits a little bit, and I'm going to give one example as a minor spoiler because I have to give an example. The Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come.
Sure.
He's like the Grim Reaper figure, but his head's a TV.
Oh my goodness.
And like his voice plays over the static. It's so cool.
So, for those that don't know about the Santa Claus, essentially, Tim
Allen.
Tim Allen is a toy company executive who his kid still believes in Santa, and he's like a divorced dad, and he's trying to like make his kid feel better. He's like, oh yeah, Santa's real, whatever. And then that night, Christmas night, the kid's like, Dad, there's something on the roof. And he goes outside and looks, and Santa's on the roof. He goes, hey, you. And Santa slides off the roof and dies in his front yard.
Yep.
And then he becomes Santa Claus.
Yep. They made like, what, 3 sequels? 2 sequels?
Well, there was Santa Claus. There was this Santa Claus. And then there was
Santa Claus 2.
the Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
And then there was Santa Claus 3, the Escape Claus.
Which,
and then
with
this
the
year.
Robot.
Yes.
Was that the one with Jack Frost in it?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Santa Claus 3 and then there's the Santa Clauses, which is like a 6-episode TV show essentially that released this year on Disney Plus.
Yeah, just to kind of go along with all of that, which is a cool concept, I guess.
It's all about him retiring.
Yeah.
or thinking about retiring.
So yeah, that's like I said. I don't like.
I try to watch the Santa Claus movies every year personally.
When I was a kid, I loved those old claymation Rudolph.
Yeah, of course, everybody did.
Yeah, the classics, Frosty the Snowman, loved them.
Yeah.
Got sick of them after a while.
I still like Frosty for what it's worth. All right, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes. And Deadpool's a Valentine's Day movie.
Okay. Are you a white meat heathen or dark meat Chad when you go for turkey? Both.
Hold on. Depends. Did I buy the turkey or not? If I bought the turkey, I'm getting both. If I did not buy the turkey, I will take whatever you give me free.
Truly the correct answer.
Whatever you give me.
I like white meat if it's not dry. That's the kicker.
That's kind of the issue with the white meat, though, is it dries out real easy.
That's why you fry that turkey. Get it thawed out all the way, inject it up real good with Tony Chachere's Cajun injection, and then you
fry
take it and drop it in the fryer for 3 minutes per pound. Boom. Done. Easy. All right. So, can Santa bring me a new format for Christmas?
No.
Nope. Sorry.
Only Father Konami can do that.
Why are the Bestial Monsters just the greatest cards ever made? Just won me games against Floodgates because they're just 2,500 beat sticks.
Because they're just 2,500 beat sticks that can special summon themselves for no reason outside of because.
The Bestial cards are really, like, actually problematic in my opinion because, well, they don't just restrict Tierashizu, they restrict every light and dark deck in the game. And that's a problem to me.
Oh, yeah, no, it's very much a case of, yeah, we're going to out Floodgate you.
Power rank how strong each Bestial monster is based on looks. Oh, gosh, I don't have pictures of them in front of me.
Yeah, you know what? We'll do that
At a different point in time.
at a different point in time where we have, like, pictures and we can, like, look at them and...
What is your go-to present you would always ask for during Christmas?
Whatever the most recent video game console was.
I'm still asking for that. I'm getting a Nintendo Switch this year.
Woo!
An OLED. So
yeah.
If it wasn't Yu-Gi-Oh, what other niche interest do you think you'd be obsessed with?
Would be or am?
Do you think you'd be obsessed with?
Because I'm actually currently obsessed with multiple niche categories, unfortunately. And my brain just kind of hyperfixates on one or the other, one of them at a time. And so then usually I'm lucky that my hyperfixation, like right before a big Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, will all of a sudden turn right back to Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes.
But it switches between Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Dungeons and Dragons, Star Wars.
Yeah, mine focuses on individual, like I'll hyperfixate on like one anime for like until I get caught up with it. That's what happened with One Piece. I'll hyperfixate sometimes just on specifically Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah.
Just random little things. Football. I do hyperfixate on football. Like when I'm not doing when I took my break from Yu-Gi-Oh, I went from like just kind of side-eye paying attention to football some to like religiously watching every Saints game, buying Saints Christmas sweaters. And like, I mean, when the Saints lost in the Minneapolis Miracle, I literally was so distraught that I just, without saying a word, got up and left my in-laws' house. My wife was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like,
No.
And I just left. I just went home and just laid down. It was that bad. And I've gotten so into fantasy football. Like I'm in $100 a person entry fantasy football league this year, which I got the #1 seed in for the playoffs. But still, like I'm still into football. So actually, that's probably my answer.
Yeah. I will say this though: whenever we quit Yu-Gi-Oh back in 2014, I just kind of turned and just went face first into Pokemon video game VGC.
Yeah, you were always into Pokemon, but the Pokemon VGC specifically is something that you didn't really do on a competitive basis until we got, like you said, got out of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, I just kind of face first into it.
Yeah.
And like once you like the funny part is that like once I learned it, it's been real easy to just update it.
Yeah.
The issue is learning it originally.
For Sonny, what's it like being the second coolest person to ever live next to Caleb? You know, it's all right. I like my place.
Second coolest person lived next to me.
No, the second coolest person to ever live next to you, of course.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay,
Calling you the coolest person.
I misunderstood. I appreciate the thought. I'm not that cool.
Can Caleb do the Carlton?
I cannot.
Oh, come on. Everybody can do the Carlton. You just kind of like, yeah.
Listen. I'm not white. I'm white. I'm too white for the Carlton, which is saying something.
Okay. So, final question. Final question before the Christmas break. Which one of you can hit the whip respectively?
I cannot.
You gotta go watch the YouTube video now because I just did it.
Hold on.
So.
I will attempt.
It's like more like arch the arm. Yeah, but like forward. Like you're punching somebody down in the face. It's pretty close, and then you gotta like whip your hair. Like a full like. Yeah. You're getting there. Except you just punch straight out. It's more like a downward punch, like you're punching a dwarf.
Oh boy, hold on 1 second.
Like he's threatening you with his pickaxe. Nope. Caleb's microphone stand is given out. It does not want this to happen.
It's given up. I'm just gonna hold it.
So Caleb's microphone stand definitely does not want that to happen. So, in lieu of that happening, we're just going to say thank you all so much for listening or watching today's episode. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to tune in next Friday when we give you another episode and then another 1 episode break because we probably aren't going to record on New Year's Day either. So, thank you all so much for listening to today's episode and have a great Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all.
Take care, everybody.